Corpus Christi City Council will have data centers plus city charter amendments on their agenda this week. A longtime Victoria community leader has died. SpaceX announces the next date for its Starship test flight. And another case of New World screwworm has been found in Texas. This is South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Thank you for joining me. It's Monday, July 20th. Corpus Christi City Council meets tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. at their council chambers. Council members Kaylin Paxson, Gil Hernandez, and Carolyn Vaughn have requested a briefing on data centers. Council will discuss a motion to direct staff regarding data center classification and parameters. Those topics will include a unified development code amendment to define data centers as a distinct principal land use and amend city zoning and permitted use tables to prohibit data centers in all zoning districts. On a separate note, the three referenced council members requested discussion and possible action on an ordinance placing city charter amendments on the ballot for the November election. If approved, amendments would include increasing city council terms to 4 years, as well as staggering city council member terms.
We have heard it many times that council terms that are 2 years it's too short. 4 years is more practical.
That was Kaylin Paxson from District 4 speaking on social media about the proposed charter amendments. Other potential amendments include creating council member at-large places 1, 2, and 3, increasing city council members' salary to the equivalent of federal minimum wage for full-time employees, and the mayor's salary to 25% above city council members' salary, increasing the number of registered voters required for a petition to initiate the removal process, and authorizing a 2-cent property tax for streets and roadway infrastructure. Full meeting agenda and public comment sign-up are available on the City of Corpus Christi's website. Victoria City Council will also meet tomorrow at 5 p.m. at their council chambers. They will have 13 items to be decided in this week's consent agenda block. Mayor Dwayne Crocker is scheduled to discuss support for renaming the Veterans Affairs Clinic in honor of Master Sergeant Roy P. Benavides. The city's municipal court administrator will also discuss the Child Safety Program and proposed fiscal year 2027 program. Victoria City Council meets on the first and third Tuesdays of each month. Meetings are live streamed online at victoriatx.gov and on YouTube at Victoria Texas Videos. Continuing on with news in Victoria, a longtime community leader has died. Brother Gary Moses, an educator and mentor, died Sunday after a 9-month battle with a rare illness. He was 76. The City of Victoria has launched a dedicated online tribute honoring Moses' life and inviting residents to celebrate and share his legacy. City officials also had previously voted to rename Victoria's Community Center after Moses.
Thank y'all for loving our city and being a part of it. God bless you all. Thank you.
That was Moses in a tribute video featured on the City of Victoria's website. The webpage features the video, his appearance on the city's Town Talk podcast, and information about the soon-to-be renamed Gary Moses Community Center. Moses' family has invited the public to celebrate his life and legacy on his birthday, July 29th, from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Community Center. SpaceX has announced the next test flight for its Starship rocket. Officials said in a statement that they will make the second attempt at Flight 13 this Thursday from the City of Starbase. Last week's scheduled launch was scrubbed just seconds before liftoff after the rocket had issue with some of its engines. Launch window for Thursday is set to begin at 5:45 p.m. Meanwhile, across Texas, the flesh-eating screwworm continues to spread. The parasite is now reported for the first time in the Rio Grande Valley. Texas Public Radio's David Martin Davies has more.
Starr County officials confirmed the border county's first New World screwworm case in a baby calf in the western part of the county. Part of Starr County is already under an active quarantine zone due to a prior detection in neighboring Jim Hogg County, triggering strict livestock inspections before animals can be moved. The New World screwworm is a flesh-eating parasite that lays eggs in open wounds of warm-blooded animals, including livestock, pets, wildlife, and people. To combat this, the USDA and state officials have released sterile flies to naturally interrupt the breeding cycle to stop the spread. The United States eradicated screwworm in the 1960s, but it reemerged in Texas in a calf in Zavala County in June. I'm David Martin Davies in San Antonio.
There have been a total of 41 confirmed cases of screwworm in the U.S., 40 of them in Texas and 1 of them in New Mexico. In state news, residents of the Texas Hill Country are cleaning up and assessing the damage after the second heavy flood in just over a year. More than 130 people died in the floods last 4th of July. This year, just 2 deaths have been reported, but in some places, floodwater reached higher ground than the year before. Texas Public Radio's Camille Phillips visited one of those neighborhoods over the weekend.
Those are my son's baseball cards. They got all wet.
2 days after floodwaters rose at least 4 feet into the home she's lived in all her life, Rosalinda Torres collects her wet belongings in trash bags, hoping they can somehow be salvaged. The 65-year-old just remodeled her house 6 years ago and says it's never been flooded before.
It hurts me a lot with my stuff that I had that I worked so hard for to have and bring my mom's house up. And this happens, but I'm alive.
Torres says last July, the creek her home overlooks reached the fence line, but no further than that. I'm Camille Phillips in Kerrville.
Hundreds of federal border security buoys are floating down the Rio Grande after being swept away by the floodwaters near Eagle Pass, causing the closure of international bridges. Texas Public Radio's David Martin Davies has more.
The Department of Homeland Security is installing hundreds of miles of a floating border wall in the Rio Grande over the objections of river flow experts who predicted the buoys wouldn't remain in place during a flood event. Now, after massive rainfall, as many as 150 buoys broke loose and are floating downstream, according to Texas State Representative Eddie Morales. Eagle Pass temporarily closed 2 international bridges to Mexico as the barriers passed through. No damage or injuries have been reported. Downstream in Laredo, officials have activated the city's Emergency Operations Center. Crews are using drones to track the buoys, which could threaten the city's 4 international bridges. Laredo is the nation's busiest inland port. I'm David Martin Davies in San Antonio.
Governor Greg Abbott has named Robert S. Howden to succeed Jane Nelson as the next Texas Secretary of State. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider says Howden, who previously served as Abbott's legislative director, takes up his new post less than 4 months ahead of the midterm elections.
The Texas Secretary of State's main responsibility is overseeing elections. Political science professor Cal Gilson of Southern Methodist University calls Robert Howden a conservative, business-friendly appointment by Abbott, but he's concerned about Abbott's personal election advisor, former state representative Nate Schatzline.
Former Representative Schatzline, who is a little more off the rails. If you want to be concerned about something, it's Schatzline, not Howden.
Howden served in 4 Republican governors' administrations dating back to Bill Clements. He also led 2 major state business associations. His appointment is subject to confirmation by the Texas Senate next year. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
More than 1 in 5 Texans with student loans are in default, according to an Associated Press analysis. KERA's Bill Ziebel reports that's at least 10% more than a year ago.
A little more than 22% of college loan recipients, or nearly 880,000 people, were in default as of March. Default means a borrower hasn't made a payment in at least 270 days. Future wages can be garnished, and Social Security payments can be redirected to pay off the loan. Default also hurts credit ratings. College loan payments were suspended because of the pandemic, but defaults were counted again in 2024. Nationally, college borrowers in default are at a record high 9.2 million people. The last record of 8 million was established before COVID-19. I'm Bill Ziebel in Dallas.
And in sports, the Corpus Christi Hooks defeated the San Antonio Missions 4-3 on Sunday in San Antonio. They next host the Amarillo Sod Poodles at Whataburger Field tomorrow night. First pitch is set for 6:35 p.m. In Texas Collegiate League Baseball, the Victoria Generals' Lucas Wilson collected 3 hits and 5 at-bats, but it wasn't enough as they fell to the Acadiana Cane Cutters 7-3 on Sunday. The Generals return home for a 2-game stint with the LC Gumbo Gators beginning tomorrow. They'll also face the Abilene Flying Bison and San Antonio River Monsters later this week. And in the finals of the FIFA World Cup, Spain defeated Argentina 1-0 in extra time on Sunday. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.